Hello, everybody. My name is Uhfgood, and today I am going to do something a little different than before. I'm going to read you a story. Actually, I'm not going to read you a story. What I am going to do is okay. All day I've been kind of sleepy. I'm not sure if it's allergies or if it's just maybe I didn't get enough sleep last night, but I'm going to actually go through. I'll show you in a sec here. Okay, this is Blender 2.80 beta from February because this is comes with Armory 0.6. In fact, where is it at? No, that's output. Scene. Anyways, you can see in here armory traits, armory props. So that's the armory stuff in there. But actually, where is the? There we go. The runtime. Can look at it in a browser, or can look at through their own Chrome. Anyways, not gonna be doing anything about armory right now. This is the version of Blender that I have though, because Blender came with it. Okay, here, let's reposition the hat. All right. Okay, so I do still have to. I know enough to get my way around Blender 2.8, but I am not an expert by any means, and I know half the stuff to do in here. And so, anyways, like I was saying, I was feeling kind of sleepy, and I didn't want to. Today, I was probably going to do another a story session. Where we're continuing to work on the villain Max in the game, and I'll get to that. Maybe in a few days, maybe in a few weeks. I don't know. It depends on how long this takes. So I decided I wanted to go through some tutorials, but most of the tutorials are in video form, not in print form. Although I could probably go on Games from Scratch, and he always has a text version of his tutorial, so I could probably go through some of those. But but right now we're trying to learn 2.8, and I'd have to find a mostly text version of 2.8. Although there have been a number of YouTubers that have allowed me to, or gave me permission to use their videos, like tutorials and things, in my videos. Mostly in the background for my talking ones, and also when I go through some tutorials. Like I'll probably go through the Grant Abbott one where he's building that tree stump, because that's actually something I want to do in my game. I want to build a low poly model and then hand paint it essentially. Um, but right now, I just I wanted to do something where I didn't have to think very much. I could just follow along. And so I decided I was going to pull out this, which is, and actually, what I can do is, no, I'll probably leave that there until I actually do something in it. But this is Blender 3D Noob to Pro, which is a wiki book, and it's supposed to be fairly complete and all that stuff. And it says it's also available in PDF version. I wonder if that would be a better. I wonder if that'd be better than doing this web thing. I'll continue to do the web thing. Anyways, so what we have here is, but this isn't a tutorial; it's a book, right? So I'll just briefly go through. See how much stuff there is there too. It'll probably take a while. Creating a HUD appears to be a tutorial that doesn't exist, which is okay, I guess. It kind of doesn't matter in a sense. So basically, you start here, right? And it looks like some of the stuff I'm just gonna have to read. If I read it out loud, you can follow along probably, and and then see how it goes through here. 3D geometry talks about coordinate systems, orthographic views, and perspective views. And it talks about the perspective views and coordinate spaces in Blender. So it looks like there's not a lot of tutorials in it, of course. But some of this is just going through it, and I'm wondering if I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but I'll probably read some of it to you. When we actually get to the UI, see the button and keystroke, there's been quite a few differences between. See, this was made when 2.75 was out, and it probably works pretty much up to 2.79, but we're going to be translating it to 2.8. I figure it'll help me learn a little bit better. Like if I go through these keys, like action or key here, let's see what it says here. Alt, press and hold the Alt Option key, Command key, Control. That's just really showing you your keyboards. It's not really talking about the actual hotkeys themselves. But so whenever it comes into keyboards like in a numpad, I do have numpad, but when it comes to 2.75 specific items, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find the 2.8 equivalent, and then so we're just basically going to kind of go through this, and it's going to kind of be boring because I'm going to kind of talk about you know just going to kind of read this a little bit, and then when it starts talking about identifying stuff, we're going to go into Blender, and I'm going to try to identify it in 2.8 if I can. It should be fairly easy, but there might be some little differences, and I'll try to figure out what the 2.8 equivalent is for that. Like these, the icons here, interesting. The icons here are pretty much the same as the icons in here. I've seen a version, I'm not sure if it's a new or old one, where these are actually, they're still using the same icons, but they're actually colored. Because I think they went to this, and then people thought, you can't tell as well. But now they use the exact same icons, but they actually give them some color instead of being the fully shaded colored icons that you find in 2.79 and back. Anyways, so I'll be going through piece by piece and referring back to the Blender itself, and we'll see object constraints context, object modifiers context. We'll go in and look and see what it has to do with what. So maybe it's kind of boring, but this is about the process of me making this game, including learning how to use certain pieces of software, certain techniques and skills that I need, like drawing and modeling, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going the 3D modeling route for my backgrounds. But my backgrounds are going to have to look like hand-painted 2D. Well, they'll look to a certain extent like hand-painted. But actually, Grant Abbott has a tutorial on making like a wooden plank, and what he does is it's a low poly, so he makes it, and then he textures it with Blender. He doesn't paint on that one, but that also kind of looks cool. It doesn't look hyper realistic or super realistic. It looks like it would fit into a cartoony thing. But yeah, let's just close that. So that's kind of what I'm going to go through. I don't think I will necessarily do this consecutively because there's a lot of stuff here. It's not like just a tutorial where I go through it for a few days. This is like a book. It's it's a wiki book, but it's a book. So I might for instance, do this unit 1. There's 4 units, and then unit 3, unit 4. So I might, although this unit 1 is fairly short, the other ones I might split up along different lines, maybe via section. Maybe I'll do these first 2 sections, but maybe I'll start just doing a few sections in between each, in each video. And then I'll stop and I'll do something else probably. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. But I'll find a place to stop at. In other words, if I'm in the middle of a section, I'll continue to finish the section until I'm done with that section. Then the next day I'll go in and work on like characters or whatever. I still got a lot to do for the drawing stuff, and of course I still got a lot to do for the story. And I figured out with the story, I'm gonna kind of do what I did before on paper, even though I still don't got them. I'm restarting it. I'm gonna go through their stories are gonna be like plot points. So like in the plot points in the screenplay, and then I'm gonna have and then I'll probably design. Well, I'll probably design all the characters, all their storylines first, and then I'll start filling it in with like puzzles and stuff, and we'll design it that ways. So, anyways, thanks for watching. This is gonna be kind of boring, I guess, but it'll be necessary. Maybe if you are kind of new to Blender, or maybe if you're new to 2.8 but not to Blender itself, maybe you'll find a little bit of value in this. I don't know. You may not. It's okay, because like I said, I'm partially doing this just to log it, just to have a document of the steps that I went through to make this game. So, and this is part of it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.